that certain topics of discussion may not be comfortable for all listeners. Certain viewpoints may not reflect those of our partners, sponsors, affiliates, our hosts, or that of our guests. We would like to encourage everybody to keep a respectful and open climate of discussion for all topics, no matter how disturbing they may be. So viewer discretion is advised.
It does not matter where you stand, nor what it is you feel is grand. Magic is all around. Magic is never gone. And it is more than you will ever know. Entrust us. Entrust her. For here you will find that the lost of magics have never disappeared.
Hello guys, and welcome to our Monday show. I just want to say first, I'm very sorry for not being able to do the show on Friday. I was not feeling very well, but we are here today to continue that show and to bring the experiments to do with alien abductees. So the experiments and stuff that they would have after they have gone through this tragic or this overpowering experience. But also I'm just going to put a little bit in there, just a little bit that I wrote down, just saying about the sort of experiments that the aliens are supposed to do on the abductees also. So hopefully tonight's show is going to be really awesome. But before I start that, I would like to give a big shout out to the Bald and Bonkers boys, to Parapost, to DNTV, to PD Global, to all of our amazing networks that are streaming us out to all platforms. Without you guys, we would not be able to do this. And obviously to all of our amazing fam that come and support us every day in our chats and in our shows. We love you all and appreciate you all. And thank you for tuning in. So tonight we are here with the Lost Magics, which is in association with Bald and Bonkers and all of the other networks. And as I said, we're going to be talking about the experiments behind abductees when they have to go to medical professionals to get help. Also talking, as I said, a little bit about what the aliens are supposed to do in testing on humans when they're abducted by them. And also, I want to just specify that obviously with this side of stuff, like the regression of stuff like that, I'm not really that familiar on that side of the topic. I know bits through Dakota and through bits that I've seen, but I'm not very familiar on this side of stuff. So I have done my research, and I am actually going to be reading from a column that is to do with a doctor that works in regression and works in the hypnotherapy as well. And just giving out that information to you guys, because I do feel that when we're doing our work and stuff, there's always going to be topics that we're not so familiar with and we're not so up on. So there is nothing wrong with doing your research and doing your studying and educating people that way. It just shows that that work's getting out there properly. So I'm not going to leave you waiting anymore. And hello to everybody in the room. Just let me shout out everyone that's in the room so far. So we've got Dobby's sister, we've got Chris from Bald and Bonkers, and hello to anybody else that is watching. I ask please share this out so that everybody knows that I am on. I'm just doing that quickly myself again. I hope that you are having a good evening and had a pleasant day. Sending you lots of love and blessings. Right, so we've got 5 people in the room. Hello, how are you, sister? I hope that you're okay. Right, so what I'm going to do is start reading to you the stuff that I got. So we're going to be talking about regression therapy and hypnotherapy, okay? Now, as you know, guys, that when abductees are abducted by aliens and they have these experiments done on them, 9 times out of 10, a lot of the abductees will explain that when they go and have these therapies and they have this experiment done on them by the aliens, it would be such things as taking samples of tissue, taking blood, taking readings from the brain. For some, it may be an even more deeper explanation to why they're being abducted. It could be that they've got some sort of link to the alien life form that is around them. So specifically, they abduct these beings that are of this world and that world, so that they can enhance them with the information and the way, so that they can continue to do what they need to do here on Earth. Some of these can be to do with like hybrid and all of these sort of things. So a lot of the abductees that we've come across and we've read up about, they always say about certain things that happen to them while they've been abducted. So they feel sharp objects being put into their body. Some of them have come away from that and found that they've got certain objects in their body that can't be explained. And some of them will explain that they just know that they feel different, like they've had either internal examinations and they've had physical outside examinations. And a lot of this, I believe, is that these beings, these aliens, ETs, extraterrestrials, whatever you like to call them, that they do these experiments on you because they're trying to figure out our source plan. I believe that they're trying to change our way that we are. Okay, and they do these certain things to be able to take samples so that they can enhance on what they need to do to make this world a better place and the humans that live in it. Between them worlds, there are those that are believed to be what you would call hybrid, or as other people would say, star children, star seeds, whatever. Okay, these are people that are believed to be of both worlds, this world and the extraterrestrial world. Okay, and they come down here for many different reasons, and I believe that these are experiences continue to experience these situations and these abductions for reasons to being connected to them. But for those that are not so known to be connected to the alien race, even though you are, you still go through alien abduction as well, due to the very facts of they are trying to plan and work out who we are in a larger way. They formed us to be a certain way. They perceived us to be a certain way, and we've gone off of that road and we're going to something completely different. And now it seems that they are starting to step in. There seems to be a lot more of these abductions happening. There seems to be a lot more stories coming from people that have had experiences to do with the extraterrestrial. And these tests, even though to some people it can be rather traumatic and they don't understand, the reasons that I believe that they do this is so that they can take these samples, take these tissues, take this blood from us, so that they can enhance and bring a better scenario in who we are. I believe that they're also doing this because they're trying to prepare us for things as well. I'm one of these that believe very much so that we come from an extraterrestrial realm and an extraterrestrial world, just as the spirit world as well. I believe that we've been many things and many beings. And I personally, like recently in the last God knows how many months, found out that I've got a lot more of a bigger connection to the extraterrestrial than I imagined. Being able to communicate with them and going through an abduction experience, which I do not remember, which is why this regression therapy would be a good thing for a lot of people. But I have noticed that since being with Dakota and meeting other people such as Tim from UFO Man and things like that, I have started to open myself a lot more to the realities of my abductions. I'm starting to remember little things about it. I don't remember or recall there ever being anything that was unpleasant. And for me, it was a very educational visit. Each time I've been took up there, I've been shown different areas, different places. There's things that they're wanting me to understand and to learn. And I believe that that is because I am part of them and because I'm supposed to be a star child, star seed. And even though experiments and stuff were done, I don't ever remember them being horrible. or uncomfortable. Weirdly, I felt very comfortable and very at home being in this place. I admit there's been a couple of experiences that I've had through meeting them that have been pretty scary and didn't end too well, but most of them have been really, really amazing experiences. But I'm not fully open and fully there to what actually fully happened to me. So I can't say 100% that everything that I experienced up there was of a positive vibe, because I'm not at that level where I remember everything. And up till a few months ago, I didn't remember anything about my abduction, only seeing the object and the craft above the car, remembering losing that time and seeing that light, and then being up at another end of a road, which there's no way we could have got there. That is the only thing that we recall or remember. As I said, I have started to open, and I do remember certain rooms and certain places that I went into, because when I've been going up there recently, it's become something that's familiar to me. It's somewhere that I'd already visited prior, before being able to communicate with them. And I'm starting to see that. And dreams and stuff are most definitely bringing it out. So for people that are being abducted and stuff and having these experiments done on them, it is normally just to perceive, our database about us, to overcome things that we're facing. They're trying to help us to overcome those things. They're trying to change our way of thinking, our way of being, I guess. And for some of them, it's being intrigued and wanting to understand more, and trying to bring others over to them, trying to show them that, we're all linked in a very, very big way. And I believe that through them doing these abductions and doing these experiments and people having these experiences, it is bringing that community out there more on the UFO side, which is what we need. So even though I do this show and I do a lot of educational shows and I talk about a lot of things, I do want these shows to also be for people to have that opportunity to be able to come out and talk about their experiences. Maybe you're a first time comer that hasn't spoke about your experiences before, and you want to get it out there and you want to be part of people that can understand what you're going through. Well, Bald and Bonkers network is most definitely one of the places for you to come to. There's some amazing networks as well that I've mentioned on this site that have got people that are very much into the ufology and stuff as well. So don't stand there and be alone and feel that you can't be open about what's happened to you and that you can't be yourself if you say what's happened to you, because you can, and you can still go on with life. Okay, so I'm going to now get into the abduction encounters of regression therapy and hypnotherapy. And it says, have I been abducted by aliens? Aliens or ET abduction starts often when a person is very young. Some call this close encounters, or the fourth kind, CEIV. Even though there might be an agreement of doing this on another level, the experience itself may still be very unusual and even scary to the person when it happens, because the physical mind can't make sense of it. Forgetfulness is part of the game. The experience begins most often when the person is at home in bed, and most often at night. Though sometimes abductions occur from a car or outdoors. There is an intense blue or white light and a buzzing of humming sounds, anxiety or fear, and those senses of an unexplained presence. A craft with flashing lights is seen and the person is transported or floated into it. Dash, please stop. Once inside the craft, the person may be subjected to the various medical procedures, often involving the removal of eggs or sperm and the implications of a small object in the nose or elsewhere. Communication with the aliens is usually by telepathy. The abductee feels helpless and is often restrained or is either restrained or partly or completely paralyzed. In hypnosis, some of these experiences recalls a very clear and personal with great and extremely disruptive detail. Others may only have a general sense. Many cases are what one might describe as grey, about 4 feet high, with a slender body and a neck, a large head, and huge black slanted almond-shaped eyes. They are reported to do examinations extracting female eggs and male sperm, inserting implants and conducting physical healing. How do you know you may have been abducted? Besides the sense of dream or UFOs or aliens, if you have the following signs or symptoms, you may have been contacted. Missing time. This is one of the most telling signs. Sleep disorder. This might be your subconscious way to protect you. Waking up during the night or in the morning with unusual bodily sensations such as tingling, numbness, dizziness, heaviness and paralysis, complained by disorientation. Nightmares and other dreams of UFOs and of aliens, unexplained physical marks, scratches, scrapes, fine red lines, little scooped out marks, bruises, unexplained healing. A sunflower-shaped bump under the skin. It moves around when touched. This indicates an implant. It may have no sensation, however, when activated, it may tingle or buzz. What types of ETs and aliens are there? Okay, we're going through everything here. As we said earlier, the typical ones are grey. During my clients' work, I've also met with many clients, mantis types, insectoid, pure white, very tall and thin, a reptilian type. There are many different kinds of ETs with different agendas. It's true that some reptilian creatures fear anger and chaos in us. They feed on those. I have encountered more than one in regression work. Here's one client's case file releasing reptilian entity. For most people, all they remember is the experience, is the fear and the pain, which can easily be reflected in our movies and TVs. The same way our medias portray wild animals and brutal and human-eating savages. With memory recalls and the help of conscious understanding, one can realise there is no need to harbour unconscious fear and pain. In the experience trauma. In my hypnotherapy regression work, very rarely the abductees are perceived benign. Oftentimes abductees feel that their interaction with the greys are simply bad. Though a lot of people would come to see me describing that as a traumatic experience. With further communication, it seems to me, however, greys simply do not know how to interact with the emotional complex human beings. They do not see their activities in the negative light that we associate with captured guinea pigs used for experimentation. The greys themselves seem to lack emotional and flexibility, so it's possible that they treat humans in a way comparable to how they treat themselves. Find out if you have hybrid children. Another way hypnotherapy can help. One is to find out if you have hybrid children, which is often a result of abduction. The hybridization project, mainly done by Greys, have been going on for a few decades now. It all had to do with their planet Earth in another parallel reality being destroyed because they had developed so much in technology and in intellect that they have bred out all of the emotional capacities, and those lost reproducibility the hybrid children raised on the crafts may come to contact. But may come to contact us during our dreams, or when we are in an altered state, such as hypnosis. The more we become who we really are, the easier it is to allow the contact to happen. After all, they are our children. Some of us do have the senses of something more is going on than our ordinary life. Some only remember a few moments at the beginning or an experience, yet our soul retains all of the memories. It's up to us to access them. Playing heart-connecting games is a way to play with your ET kids. Eventually, these hybrids are bred with another human till they are human enough to live on Earth. I have many clients tell me that a few decades from now, our Earth will have many of them living among us. Typically, characteristics of human hybrids, depending on which ET species a hybrid is part of, they normally have the following characteristics. Body type, some different ingredient and different component, low blood pressure, low temperature, body temperature. Head is a little larger. Eyes are bright and sparkling with colourful irises. Body is small. Not a lot of change in expression. One organ may not be where a organ usually is. An extra rib, an extra toe, or a fewer toes and fingers. Very small, smart and quick brain power, intuitive and physic, with heightened senses, a sense of a mission that they are called to do. Shapeshifters, they can change face, skin textures. Pupil vertical slits. Hypnotherapy and how it can help with abduction. Are these experiences real or imaginations? As a hypnotherapist, I don't know. What I know is, even though it's imagination, it has to come from somewhere. And why would imagination not be real? What's important is that from many cases that I work with, it seems to help with the individuals resolving deep-seated fears, and as a result, lose weight and get happier in their life. Though regression analytics and hypnotherapy works on the unconscious mind and helps to recover lost and suppressed memories, often in very good detail, this in itself can give an individual much greater insight into their personal experiences of their life journey. So far they're explaining about how this therapy, this regression therapy, this hypnotherapy is a way that will help to come into the abductee's mind and help them to recall and to remember these situations that they were in when they were abducted. It's also explaining that they believe that a lot of these alien species, when they take us, are taking us because they're wanting to understand us. They're wanting to take, as I said, samples from us, so that they can understand us more, so that they can make their own children. Because obviously sometimes in some of their populations, the number of them are decreasing, okay, due to different situations and different reasons. So they're using our blood, our DNA and all that to be able to symbolise into making these hybrids, because we are connected to them and we are part of them. And I do believe that they are our creators. We were just created to be different in this world and to be and act in a different way. But sadly, we're not doing the procedure to the way that they want. So they're having to step back and they're having to do these experiments. They're having to bring themselves out to us to help, to bring other beings, so that one day, as it said here, they can come back and be here as well and be among us. Now, a lot of us already hear things and know things, that there already are species of alien, ET, extraterrestrial, that are already here on this earth. And there are some that have been visiting here for many, many thousands of years, okay? But there are those out there that still visit, but they don't come very often. Greys are always portrayed to being very evil and very dangerous, and believe me, that some of them really are. But some of them are not, and they're just inquisitive, that they want to understand us, they want to know us, they want to understand how we act different to them, even though we're formed by them, sort of thing. This is what this is trying to say. And this is what this lady that is a hypnotherapist and a regression therapist is explaining, that through a lot of her alien abductees that she's got to meet and work with, she's seen a lot of this, that they're meant to be coming back, that we're meant to be part of a hybrid project, that there are hybrid among us. And as it's explaining, what happens is when you become hybrid, you would be up there, and they want you to be able to portray and live here on earth, to bring out the goodness and to bring out the things that they're wanting you to do. So they have to prepare your body and prepare you for who that is. So this is why they take human women and impregnate them by taking the man's sperm, taking their sperm, impregnating that woman. I was watching this program the other day on the internet, where it was explaining that normally an extraterrestrial, when they come into contact with a female and they impregnate a female, she is normally only pregnant for 2 months. And then what happens is it will look like she's either had a miscarriage or the baby has suddenly disappeared. Some women have experienced getting very large bellies, but nothing is able to be seen in there. This is that child in there. Some pregnancies do show up, but then the pregnancy disappears. This is because the extraterrestrial child, the hybrid child, has reached the purity time that the extraterrestrials can actually come in to contact with this female, re-abduct her, so that they can remove this fetus. And later on in life, when the lady has come to terms with what's happened, somehow this communication with mother and child is still able to be apparent, and you can still make communication with your children through regression, through meditation. For some, that it comes easily because they're already open. There's been a lot of women in this world that have explained that when they've gone through these abductions, they found out that they've been pregnant, and then a couple of months later they find out that the baby's not there anymore, the baby's disappeared. There is also meant to be a twin theory as well, that sometimes when a pregnant mother is carrying human twins, one of the twins sometimes suddenly passes away or disappears, and you can't see that twin anymore. They say that this could be linked to extraterrestrial abduction as well, that one twin is left with mother and one twin is removed and put up there with them. It's said that the hybrids are kept on spaceships because they're not able to breathe in the air and the way that the extraterrestrials do. They have to build that child's immune system up to be able to live in that plane. So for many, many years, this extraterrestrial child will be living on a spaceship among these alien beings. And in this time, it has been known that mothers are took back there because it helps on the rebirth and it helps on the growth of that hybrid child. Okay, it keeps that connection, it keeps that importance, because that child, even though it is with a completely different looking person to what it used to be inside of, that child knows that the parent is not them, it's somebody from somewhere else. So the alien ETs, whatever you like to call them, very often will bring the mother into the equation with the children to help with their growth, to help with how they mature. And through doing this, this helps this child to adapt to its environment, and then it's able to live among the alien life forms. So even though they are extraterrestrial, they are also of a human child. They started out as a human child and was taken so that they could become one of them. And normally a lot of these hybrid children that are given to certain mothers that are human, in fact, shows that some of these mothers are actually, in fact, connected to the alien realms, that there are a characteristic that links them, a bloodline that maybe links them. So there are certain energies and certain women in the human form that they will go for and impregnate. As I said, whether this is removing a child from somebody that has been two humans forming children, or if this is them informing and implanting information into our mind to ready us for that sort of thing. And then obviously these extraterrestrials will then step in and do their own experiments to make their own children as well. So doing things such as inserting sperm and inserting eggs into the female through using the admin and stuff like that. They do a lot of very complex work, and not all of the breeds of the extraterrestrial children can be formed up there. Some of them do need to be done through what you would class as a human body, okay, a female human body. And I find that very interesting. And I was watching a program, like I said yesterday as well, where they were explaining about this and how these extraterrestrial children come about and how it can happen. And I found it very, very interesting. Hypnotherapy is an excellent way of working through these experiences in a safe and secure environment. Have a close look at the experience. If you believe you have had a close encounter of an abduction experience, then maybe people like this lady that's speaking here can help you, one of these therapists. As a time-space travelling hypnotherapist, there is nowhere I'm unwilling to go, because in my professional practice there is no fear of the unknown, only curiosity. Fear doesn't exist but in our imagination. Because of misunderstanding or lack of information, human minds associate what's unknown to fear. Therefore, bringing truth to any situation is the way to freedom. When is the best time to seek help when you've gone through these situations? People with this type of experience, they have a lot to think and a lot to deal with. First, of course, you want to know. You want to know what has really happened and what was or maybe still is going on. The piece of memories or flashbacks have been bugging you for a while. The anxiety and other weird feelings have started to impact your daily life at work. And you can talk as much as you want with your friends and your family. They will probably think that you are crazy. and you'll research and you'll feel that you can use some help in hypnosis, because if these kinds of weird things dared to happen, you should dare to know, right? But wait, will knowing make it worse? Maybe it's more scary to know than not to know. Maybe on the second thought, you are better off not knowing what happened. After working with many people in person and over Skype, I can confidently say this can only get better after you deal with it. The unknown is the most scary part. As long as it remains unknown, it has power over you. Bringing to the conscious awareness with the help of a caring professional always opens up the broader sense of understanding, therefore peace. Please notice, everything you say is true for me. She's saying that, like, in this bit, she goes into how when she speaks to her people, she looks at that what they're saying to her is true. She goes in a way that she's trying to understand where they're coming from, and through doing this, she's had a lot of experiences that she cannot explain, and she's seen and she's been part of places and situations that are just not known to the human mind. Okay, so here she puts, please notice everything you say is true for me, as I fully understand it is true in your experience, and I automatically take whatever you say as full honesty. You do not need to convince me that your experience was true for this to work, and I do not judge anybody. My job is to facilitate memory recall in the most truthful way. I do not have any bias towards any belief system. So if you'd like to come to terms with your experience, email me today. That Skype sessions are possible and can be as effective as in-person sessions, or you can use the following calendar links to schedule time. Part 2. According to the Journalist of America culture, most people claiming to have experienced alien abduction report traumatic alien invasion investigations investigations of their bodies. Barbito 202, as with any other trauma, alien abduction can cause several emotional shocks in the victim and have long-lasting physical effects such as post-traumatic stress disorder and post-abduction syndrome. Nelson, various methods of treatment can help a suffering alien abductee to overcome or cope with these problems. These methods include support groups, physiotherapy, hypnotherapy, and even simple humour. Betty and Barney Hill were the first recorded alien abductees to seek treatment after their abduction. Despite widespread skepticism towards alien abductees, there are some physiatric professionals, as well as those practicing under the often self-bestowed title UFO investigator, who believe that there is a need to treat UFO patients with the same standards and practices as anyone reporting emotional distress or trauma. Some mental health professionals are now arguing that physiotherapists should be educated about the UFO abduction phenomena so that they will recognize the symptoms and be able to help the victim. Newman and Bumbista 100. Post-traumatic stress disorder, often referred to as PTSD, which is what I suffer from, is an anxiety disorder. PTSD is caused by major personal stress or serious or frightening events. Post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms of this disorder include images of memories of events, nightmares or even of the event, insomnia, sense of isolation, sense of guilt, irritability, loss of concentration and depression. These symptoms are only considered to be contributing to the chronic PTSD if they have lasted over 3 months after the traumatizing event, such as an abduction by aliens, or if the symptoms have delayed onset. PTSD is the only disorder of the two listed previously as occurring in traumatic alien abductions that is recognized by the American Psychiatric Association, ASA, and Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM. Post-traumatic stress disorder is also sometimes referred to as post-traumatic stress syndrome. Many alien abductees experience these disorders, according to Dr. David Gottlieb, a prominent physicist is the UFO subculture. Post-abduction syndrome. Post-abduction syndrome, or PAS, is an anxiety disorder that has many similarities to the post-traumatic stress disorder. It differs, however, in that the traumatic event, alien abduction, may occur more than once in an individual's lifetime, making it difficult to pinpoint when the trauma began. The syndrome is not firmly recognized by the ASA. It was first defined by Bud Hopkins, a prominent alien abductee researcher, in his book Missing Time and Intruders. PAS specifically defines the cluster of symptoms and behaviors that develop in some individuals in responses to the alien abduction phenomenon. These symptoms include persistent re-experiencing of the traumatic event, characterized by flashbacks, persistent avoidance of stimuli associated with the trauma, denial of the event, labeling the event as something else, probic advance of areas or situations where contact occurred, refraining from sleep at the time contact occurred, emotional reaction to literature, pictures or videos about alien entities, numbing of emotions characterized by inability to feel intimacy, pleasure or to express emotion, diminished interest in previously enjoyed activities, may have no expectation of normal life events or normal lifespan, may fear abduction with no return of a lengthy abduction, hypervigilance, exaggerated startle response, irritability, and or panic attacks. Post-abduction syndrome may not only affect the abductees themselves, but can also affect witnesses to the abduction, family members, or other closely associated with the abductee. The traditional definition of the support group is a group of people with common experiences and encounters and concerns. In this case, abductions by aliens and the resulting complications, who provide emotional and mortal support for one another. One purpose of abductee support groups specifically is to attempt to help people to recover repressed memories of visualization at the hands of the extraterrestrials. Beginning in the mid-1980s, an increasing number of supported groups appeared that were centered around the alien abductees and their experiences. Many alien abductions support groups are currently in existence, located mainly in the United States, but with some located in other countries such as Canada, Australia. One Seattle-based abductive support group, UFO Contract Center International, has affiliated centers located through the United States and Canada, now numbering over 30 borders. A survey done in 1990 of 55 alien abductees involved in a support group reported that most participants in alien abduction support groups were white married females with some college education. However, this may not be a large enough sample group to actively represent the alien abductees involved in the support groups. Support groups for alien abductees are commonplaces and can be easily contacted through their websites. The following link provides a list of 15 support groups for the aliens abductees. So, physiotherapy. Physiotherapy is any form of treatment for physiology, emotional or behavior disorder in which a trained person establishes a relationship with one or several patients for the purpose of modifying or removing existing symptoms and prompting personal growth. Psychotherapy is also sometimes simply referred to as counseling. For an alien abductee, this provides an environment where they feel they can be open and talk about their experiences without the fear of ridicule. Hypnotherapy. Most alien abductees record their abductions through hypnotherapists. Because of this, the vast majority of evidence for alien abductees is based on memories recovered through hypnosis. Hypnosis is the weakening of both emotional experiences and behavior. In other words, emotional numbing. Sebastiani, E.T., A1 thought for a time that they may have forgotten. Some abductees find clues to what happened, such as symptoms of PAS or PTSD or missing time, that lead them to seek a hypnosis to help them discover if their hunch is the real deal. The use of hypnosis to recall repressed memories is a highly controversial issue. Many well-known alien abductees experts have every confidence in this method of memory recall. Long-time abductees researchers Bud Hopkins argue that memories recovered under hypnosis have usually validated that it is even better than ordinary memory. David Jacobs, another well-known researcher, believes that memories derived by hypnotical are even more reliable than those recalled outside of the hypnotic state. Jacobs also states, however, that anyone could be a researcher or hypnosis just by proclaiming it, due to the fact that there is no systematic training for those interested in this line of memory recovery. Alien abduction narratives are frequently attributed to the creation of a false memory. Lynn and Kersich included under hypnosis. Steve J. Lynn of Ohio University and Ivan Kersich of the University of Connecticut assert the false memories are created through the following 7 steps. A person is predisposed to accept the idea that certain puzzling or incompatible experiences might be a telltale sign of UFO abduction. The person seeks out a therapist whom he or she views as an authority and who is, and at the very least, receptive to these explanations and have some prior familiarity with UFO abduction reports. Alternatively, the therapist framed the puzzling experiences in terms of an abduction narrative. Alternative explanation of experiences are not explored. There is increasing commitment to the abduction explanation and increasing anxiety reduction associated with ambiguity reduction. The therapist legitimizes or ratifies the abduction experience with constitute an additional positive reinforcement. The client adapts the role of the victim or the abductees, which becomes intrigued into the physiotherapy and the client's views of self. Humor and healing is also another association that is very good for those that have been through this. While humor cannot reduce the significance of the terrible event, it does allow the survivor of the traumatic event to see how they can cope and thrive in their environment. Humor can be a powerful healing tool when both the therapist and the client are willing to openly discuss it. According to Evan R. Smith, founder of the Close Encounters Research Organization, humor has been very healing for those people who have had encounters. The key to this unique brand of humor is to see the humorous side of the phenomena without making fun of the science or the victim. So obviously with like the regression and with the hypnotherapy, a lot of it is about helping these victims to come to terms with the encounters that they endured through the extraterrestrial abduction, helping them to also recall and remember some of the memories that they have lost, because in a lot of alien abductions, a lot of people recall losing a lot of the memory of what happened to them, because it's said that extraterrestrial beings will sometimes make you forget certain areas of that abduction that they done for many reasons. It could be to protect them, protect you. It may be that it'd be too overwhelming for that person at that time to endure that. So for that reason, when this abduction happens, a lot of what happens to that person is forgotten, but they remember seeing the object and being took, seeing the light. Where others do remember what happened when they were inside the spaceship or in the craft and when they were seeing these beings. Some of them do remember, some of us don't. It depends very much so on the experience of that time. Okay. Now for me, I've always found myself sitting here and wondering why I was made to forget quite a lot of what I had gone through, and why I don't remember a lot of what happened when I was abducted. And but at the same time I can recall it because I have questioned myself and I have worried, and sometimes it puts you into that place where you think that you're going crazy. You question yourself and you ask how these things can happen. Now, I've always been somebody that very much believes in aliens, but I've always been somebody that was very skeptical when it comes to the alien abduction side of it. Okay. Now, I've read stories that I did believe in, but I didn't believe that it could just happen to anyone. And then when I had my first experience, it was very bizarre because I didn't remember a lot of it. I only remember seeing the craft and where I ended after that, and the fact that I'd lost so much time that I don't recall anything. And as I said, going through being with Chris and Dakota and going through meeting people like Tim from UFO Man, I've been able to find a lot more answers to what happened to me. Like I said, I've been able to go into certain rooms, and I knew that I'd seen that room at that time of that abduction because the memories are starting to come back. I am starting to open up to what happened to me. But I have also had a couple of experiences that weren't so nice through doing this as well, where I ended up in somewhere quite dark, where dark energies were trying to overcome and trying to do whatever they wanted to do to me. So I have had a couple of scary experiences through trying to find myself, but a lot of it has been pleasant. And through being who I am and meeting the people that I have met, I've learned so much more about my side as well, and learned so much more about who I actually really am. And when I read this article, I could relate to a lot of it, even to the extent of these poor women that become impregnated by them, or impregnated and a baby is removed and things. Because I've had some strange situations where I've been pregnant in the past, a long time ago, and I had my belly. I was confirmed as being pregnant, but then when I went for my last scan, the baby was no longer there. The baby had gone. I've had experiences where strange things have happened to me and I can't really understand it, and that's why I think this sort of thing is really good. Even though I'm not having the regression and the hypnotherapy, I am kind of having that through learning and seeing other people, okay, and understanding their way. And through learning from them and through educating and through doing this work, it's opening me to that side more. And I've become a lot more acceptance of who I am. I'm comfortable and happy to communicate with the extraterrestrial spirits now. I'm not so uncomfortable about having these experiences where I am taken anymore. These all feel very familiar to me, and as I said to you at the beginning of the show, I intend to like those experiences, and I feel that I belong when these things happen. And I'm sure, as I've said to you, there are many people out there that have had abduction experiences, and have had experiences in many different ways, some of them pleasant and some of them not so much. If you are somebody that's gone through a traumatic situation like this, where you believe you've been abducted and things like that, and you're not quite sure because you don't remember a lot, then hypnotherapy and regression therapies and things like that would be a very good way for you to be able to come forward and to maybe find out some of these memories and try to find out a little bit into what actually happened to you. Because if you have been abducted by aliens, 9 times out of 10, they don't like you to remember your experiences. They don't like you to remember everything about your experience. They will take certain parts of that away from you for reasons. So through doing this therapy, that will help you to open that. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to go there the first day and it's going to happen. It takes a number of months, weeks for some, even longer than that sometimes. It really does depend on the person and the experience, and how much they want to find out what's happened to them as well, because that plays a big part in it also. So, you know, telepathy, these sort of ways to be experimented on to help you to come to play and to come to terms with what happened to you is a very powerful way. It can be very traumatic, but that traumatic feeling and emotion that you feel will one day turn into something that you will be grateful that you know. Okay? Now, when you have memories that are supposed to not be of something normal, it can be very difficult to be able to absorb that and to accept that. So with these sort of therapies, that will help you to accept what happened to you. It will help you to understand a little bit more about what happened to you. It will open the picture to you on what actually happened in that situation. It should bring out things like what these beings done to you. You may even see what the beings looked like. You'll get information through having these therapies that will be relayed back to you, that will help you as that person that's gone through that to be able to recall your situation, to accept it, and to be able to move through life. Okay, because like any traumatic situation, as it explained in that article, it's very hard to move on with your life and to make an understanding of your life if there is so much of it that you don't understand and so much is missing. So, you know, if you are one of these people that believe that you've been abducted and you're going through situations that you can't get yourself out of, and it's a situation you'll find it very difficult to understand or to bind with, then maybe these sessions would be really good for you. There, like it said, there are lots of places online that you can look up for this. There are groups that you can go to as well. But just remember that you are important and your life is important, and you know, understanding and respect goes a long way. I'm not the sort of person that when somebody's going to turn around and say, right, I've had an alien experience, I'm not going to question them and put them down and say I don't believe in that, because I know in myself what it's like to go through that, because I've been through that myself. And I've had people look at me back and judge me and stuff like that when they don't know and stuff. But the most important thing in this is knowing that you've got people behind you that do support you and do believe you, because I believe in this world that people shouldn't be so quick to judge people because of what they can do and who they are, because every person is different. Every person works and acts differently. Everybody communicates differently. That doesn't make us any less of a person. And you being an alien abducted does not make you the odd one out. It doesn't make you weird. It's part of life. These beings are part of us and have been part of us for thousands of years. They are very much involved with us. It's just some of the people out there find it very hard to get their head around that, okay? But don't be ashamed or feel the fear to open up to who you are and what's happened to you, because in my opinion, being somebody that's gone through what I've gone through and a lot of others have gone through, this is one of the most amazing experiences and topics for me to be involved in. I absolutely love my ufology just like I do my paranormal, and I'm seeking through the ufology for the same reason as I'm seeking through my paranormal, because of my experiences, because of the things that have happened to me. I don't sit here and pretend that I know everything, but I will speak to you openly about the things I do understand. If there are things that I don't understand or don't quite know about, I'll do research like this. And I believe the more information and the more fact, the better. Okay? Because even though these shows are to entertain you, these shows are also to reach out to other people that may be going through similar situations. So you don't have to suffer alone. Even if you don't feel comfortable with going to these groups and stuff, you've got people like us in these communities that you can come and talk to and open yourself to, and maybe over time you'll be able to come to accept what happened to you and see that it's not such a bad thing. And you know, these experiments, these abductions, these things happen for a reason. And we are more linked than you think. So, does anybody have anything that they want to say about the show, guys? That is the end of my reading and stuff. So if there is anyone that wants to say anything, or did you please say? Like I said, I am no professional in regression and stuff like that. It's very much a puzzle to me still as well. And there's still so much of the aspects of what happened to me that I'm still learning about as well, guys. But I will try to bring you the best that I can and truthful stuff. So we can all learn and build together. Hello, Black Dragon. How are you? Let me just call out to everybody in the room. So we have got Greeny Page. Welcome. Dobby Socks. I do need to sort the fire alarm. At the minute, I've been waiting for the housing people to sort it out. We've got Bald and Bonkers Chris. We've got Dobbies. We've got Black Dragon. Hello, everybody that came in the room. Thank you for coming and supporting me tonight, guys. It does mean a lot for you to support me like this. Obviously, as well, as I said, I am part of a lot of the I'm not going to whack it, because if it goes off completely, then if something does happen in the house, it's not going to work at all. At the minute, it's not got no red light on it. It's still showing green. So it's still working. It's just going down. But I have contacted my housing people. So hopefully soon they're going to get that sorted out. Because I don't like having a fire alarm that doesn't work. I'm really funny about safety and things like that. I get a bit freaked out. So hopefully they're going to sort that out soon. But I do appreciate you all coming in, guys. And remember, I mentioned all of the companies and networks that I'm part of at the beginning of the show. You guys can come over and support on those networks as well. These guys are absolutely awesome. They're helping people to get out there in the work that they love. So yes, a lot of us do associate around the strange and the unknown, but we are also opening our networks to be able to help other people with other interests. So if you're a magician, or you're a comedy, food, talk shows, whatever it is, we support everybody. So please come over. So I just want to do a big shout out again to Bald and Bonkers, Chris and Dakota. Thank you. That's our amazing management under the company. A big shout out to DNTV, Parapost, Global, PD, and all of those amazing networks that are streaming us out. Also a big shout out to all of our TV people and all of our support and sponsors that are behind us and helping us to be able to do what we love and to be able to keep doing the shows to entertain you guys. So a big shout out to all of you, and obviously to all of my people that have come in tonight and watched my show and have supported me as well. I appreciate all of you and thank you so much. So I don't see anybody writing any questions and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wish you all a very pleasant evening and a safe evening. And I hope that you all sleep very well. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your night. And thank you for tuning in and for joining me to talk about the experiment to do with alien abductees and how aliens do their tests as well. I hope that you did enjoy that and you found this educational. I have got the details to the writing that I had got through research. I will post that out onto the Bald and Bonker page and onto my pages as well. So please keep an eye out for that so you can read it, because obviously anybody that knows me by now knows I'm dyslexic and sometimes I do struggle with some of the words. So I do like to make sure that I write all my stuff down so you understand what I'm talking about. And I like you to see the research that I've got from people that I believe in and people that I believe really explain things in a really good way. So a good night to you all, my sweethearts. Thank you for coming in. Lots of love, light and blessings. and a merry parting, and I will see you very, very soon.
One! Alright! Come on! Yeah! Here we go! Yeah! 1, 2, 3, 4! Come on! Let's go!
Hey everybody, just a quick message from Bald and Bonkers Network. We would like to remind everybody that certain topics of discussion may not be comfortable for all listeners. Certain viewpoints may not reflect those of our partners, sponsors, affiliates, our hosts, or that of our guests. We would like to encourage everybody to keep a respectful and open climate of discussion for all topics, no matter how disturbing they may be. So viewer discretion is advised.
It does not matter where you stand, nor what it is you feel is grand. Magic is all around. Magic is never gone, and it is more than you will ever know. Entrust us, entrust her, for here you will find that the lost of magics have never disappeared.
Hello. How are you guys? Welcome to our Friday evening show. I am Sherry, your host, and we are going to be doing, hang on a minute guys. Sorry, I did not mute. So tonight's show should be a very interesting one. To any of you guys that are into all of the alien stuff, this is another alien-based show, but this is an alien-based show of a different kind. I will get into that in a minute, but first I would like to say a big shout out to the Bald and Bonkers boys. I would also like to do a big shout out to all of our networks that we are running to, so that is DNTV, B&B, Parapost, PD, Global, Paratech, and all of these amazing sites and websites that we are connected to. And also a big shout out to all of our sponsors and our people that are streaming us through TV channels. A big shout out to all of you as well, and lots of love and respect to all of you that are helping us to continue to be who we are and what we're doing. And honestly, a big shout out to all of our lovely fans that support us in our rooms and come to our shows. Lots of love to you guys as well. So today's edition of The Lost Magics is another alien-based show, but today's show is going to be us talking about different spiritual children that are to be associated with extraterrestrials. So we'll be talking about indigo children, crystal children, and starseed children. How they become in this world and how they became from that world. Different traits that some of you guys may have that could indicate that you could be possibly one of these children. Because believe it or not, there are many of these among us in this world. I believe so that I am one, along with a few others that are in the company as well, guys. So I really thought that this topic would be a really good one to cover, because I know that a lot of people find it fascinating when people start talking about the fact that us as humans are actually descendants that have come from their realms, and some of us have come back here for a reason, have been sent back here for a reason, and it all starts as a child, guys. Okay, so we're going to get into it in a minute. I'm just asked that you please share out and let everybody know that I am on. I'm just going to do it quickly again as well. Please hit those thumbs up and share out, let everybody know. Really? Step back. Sorry, my guy is fascinated by this and seems to be really excited about it. So, he's a peculiar one, believe me. So, yes, we're going to be starting and talking about the Starseed, as I said, Star Children and the Indigo Children and the Crystal Children. Now, they're all slightly different, but they are all supposed to be hybrid children, spiritually gifted children that are said to be from the extraterrestrial realms. But with the Indigo and with the Crystal Children, they also are supposed to be young being children that have been descended from heaven as well and been sent back here for various reasons. But a lot of it is linked around to being communicated with being extraterrestrial, guys. So I'm going to read you what I've got. I have been doing some instant research into this and trying to understand it, because obviously in myself, you know, I come to learn a few months back that I am in fact one of these, and I do actually hold a lot of the traits as well as some of the guys in the company. But I am not somebody that knows everything about these children and what they are supposed to do, and I am very much still learning who I am and what I'm supposed to be connected to. So I did a lot of research into this so that I could bring you guys the best information that I can. Now, in this topic, I'm going to read through what they are, but there are also some traits to what you could see if you actually are one of them. Okay, so I've found a few bits. So let's start. Starseed children and hybrid children. Starseed children are highly developed souls who are here to create a new and highly conscious way of living. And it begins with you, as their parents. Starseed children challenge you, your rules and expectations, as they seem beyond the limitations of current belief systems. They are empathic, intuitive, and wise in non-traditional ways. Your child souls choose you for a reason and can help you activate your conscious evolution. These non-conformist visionaries are galactic absorbers of the unconditional love and keepers of cosmetic knowledge. They are multiple dimensional healers and guides. Find out about the new children and ways navigate the type of conscious parenting they inspire and require. Understand how you can perceive physically and interact in higher dimensional realms. Discover how to support and to encourage their extra sensory abilities and nurture them. Special children of the world. It's not uncommon for mothers to think their children are special. It's only natural. But what happens when your child is literally out of this world? Crystal, Indigo, and Star Seed children are a certain kind of special, displaying characteristics that push the boundaries of what is assumed to be our reality. Over the past number of decades, there have been a growing number of children who seem to come from a place beyond the physical universe in order to bring the world into a new state of consciousness. So what is believed, guys, is that these children are chosen to come back here, but as the parents of those children, they choose you. Okay, so they will be told or asked if they can come back to do a specific measure in this world, but they get to choose the parent that they want to be part of. Obviously, these children are born in the human mother's body, but they have the characteristics of both. These children are born very highly spiritual. They are very open to seeing all of the things in the world. They are very knowledgeable about the stars, the universes, and everything else. They seem to just be very much connected to those realms from the beginning, even without actually having to be trained. This reason is because that consciousness side of them, and because of what they are, carries within their human body. Okay, they are both. They are human and they are extraterrestrial. They are a higher spiritual ability of a person. They grow up to do some of the most amazing things, such as being maybe clairvoyance and being mediums, being very connected with emotion, being able to understand the world. A lot of these children are sent here for different reasons and different purposes. A lot of them, it is believed, they come here because they are trying to change the way of this world. They are trying to bring the world back to how it needs to be. They're here to bring people forward, to educate them in who they really are connected to. Because obviously, if you've been watching our shows over these last year or so, to do with Bald and Bonkers, we've very much indicated how we are very much as humans connected to the extraterrestrial world, that we actually believe as well that we are actually formed and made by them. And I most definitely do believe that. And I've had things that have been said and told to me that says that this is the case. Okay, so through learning all of those things and showing you guys this indication, I thought that it would be very important to show you where that all starts. Because believe it or not, an alien doesn't just land here and start doing things when they're spiritual that way. Like, obviously, the ones that you see in the spaceships, the ones that you see sightings through, yes. But when it is a extraterrestrial of a different kind, which is an extraterrestrial that has been brought in to the physical world of the human, okay, it's different. They have to choose their family. They adapt to their family. They learn their family, their ways, okay? A lot of the parents that have these sort of children will know that they're different to the normal child. They are very highly open. They are very connected to feeling, to emotion, to vibration. They are very connected to understanding both the spirit world, the extraterrestrial world, and obviously this world, because all of it is linked and connected as one. That's what these beings believe, okay? And as they grow up, they show that characteristic even more. So, the first one that I'm going to talk to you about is the indigo children among us. The identification of indigo children who have provocatively towards certain physiological and spiritual attributes was first popularized by San Diego paralogist Nancy Ann Tapp in the 1970s. The New York Times report that Tapp noticed the emergence of children with vibration color that she had never seen before. One that coincided with a new brand of consciousness. Indigo refers to the indigo-hued aura that the youngest emit. Subsequently, the husband and wife team of Lee Carroll and Jane Tober in the 1999 book The Indigo Children further popularized the phenomena. Carroll's report, Conversations with the Spiritual Entity named Cryon, cemented the concept of indigo children not only among the general public but also with a variety of doctors, educators and physiologists. According to the Carroll and Tobit book, indigo children come in knowing who they are, so they must be recognized, celebrated for their exceptional qualities and guided with love and care. What is an indigo children? Carroll explained children are often the greatest blessing in life and also the greatest challenge. Many books have been written about good parenting and children physiology, but what we noticed was different. The thought that we might be seeing a new human consciousness slowly arriving on the planet, manifested in our children, goes way beyond established conservative thought. Essentially, Indigo children share traits that include a strong calling to make the world a better place, an innate knowledge of better ways to do things. They are natural system busters with a non-responsiveness to controlling and other authority figures, a feeling of natural superiority, and an inner love for nature, plants, and animals. As physically counselors, Carol and Todd had written a book that quickly became a guide of sorts for parents of unusual, bright, and active children in a world where children are commonly over-medicated, attending schools devoid of creative environments, and in homes lacking sufficient time and attention from their parents. Indigo children abilities. Maureen Hill, a speaker and leader in the field of children's emotional health, working with highly sensitive children, wrote, Indigos are intuitive, strong-willed, and very sensitive. They have always felt different and here for a reason. Although they may not know what that is yet, highly attributes to the following possible traits to Indigo children: having had intuitive experiences, a desire for a more fair and just world, having stood up, maybe alone, for what they believe in, having an interest in living a life of meaning instead of just making money, feeling sensitive in both a physical and emotional sense, and having unusual things happen around them. Other Indigo traits have been described as having a high IQ, acute intuition, self-confidence, resistance to authority, old soul qualities, sensitivity to the chemicals and fluorescent lights, a destructive tendencies. The latter is often diagnosed as an attention deficit disorder or attention deficit hyperactive disorder. The New York Times cited that Dorian Virtue, a former physiotherapist who had written the book and conducted lectures on Indigo children, saying that such youngsters represent a leap in human evolution. She said, they're vigilant about cleaning the earth of soils, ills, and corruption, and increasing integrity. Moving on to the crystal children. What is a crystal child? Crystal children are another exceptional category of human beings, known to follow their hearts as idealists in a world limited and troubled by materialistics. This means that crystal children are apt to flow with consciousness rather than forcing their way through life and hardships in search of material success. Their ultimate goal seems to be firmly established to making the world a better place. Like Indigo children, crystal children also exude an old soul persona. Characteristics of a crystal child. According to the physics research Troy G., crystal children, the offspring of indigos, began to incarnate in greater numbers at the turn of this century. They commonly have a penetrating gaze, sometimes poses, usually coloured and often round eyes. are sensitive both mentally and physically, suffer from allergies and sensitivities caused by environmental factors, are spontaneous and sometimes act without thinking of the consequences, love to climb and have good sense of balance, are natural huggers, even with people they only just met, have no awareness of personal boundaries because they feel connected to all of humankind and indeed all living things, are healers and physics, love music and singing, but hate loud noises, aren't comfortable in noisy or overcrowded places, and suffer from sensory overload, are badly affected by negative events both in their personal sphere and worldwide, becomes healers, carers, volunteers, healers and teachers, exude love for their families, pets and their friends, and are autodidacted, preferring to teach themselves what they want to learn rather than what they're told to focus on. Crystal children abilities. To a trained physiologist, a great number of these qualities refer to introverted individuals, but those who hold tight to the concept of crystal children feel that there is also a tendency for these youngsters to want to uplift humanity and the natural world as a whole. Their entire life purpose is devoted to a greater universal cause. Nikki Patello, a former clinical microbiologist and molecular biologist who now works with physic children, noted that the main purpose of crystal children is to take us to the next level in our evolution and revealing to us our inner and higher power. They function as a group consciousness rather than as individuals, and they live by the law of global oneness. They are also advocates for love and peace on this planet and are mostly born into the gold ray of incarnation and evolution, which means they have accessed their gifts of clairvoyance and healing. Moving on to the Starseed children. Starseed children, also called star children, represent the umbrella group of people who are said to have been sent from all areas of the universe to help the earth and humanity. They are reported to possess physics, spiritual and other extrasensory abilities and are bringers of peace, topplers of corrupt systems and shifters of dimensional consciousness, now and in the future. Nikki Patello wrote that these children have come here on special assessment to assist in the rebirth into the higher dimensional earth. Patello noted that star children may be divided into three categories of indigo, crystal and rainbow individuals. Star children have chosen specific parents who will help them develop their natural abilities. So if you are a parent of a child you know is different, your child probably chose you to help them. Help others in their spiritual paths. The most wonderful aspect of star children is their willingness to take on the world and to learn and make their own way through it. Star children will get to the point where they are able to mold society into something that reflects their energies and values. The truth that they hold and defend so well will reflect their integrity and their spirituality. Stephen Itchison, author of 100 Ways to Develop Your Mind, wrote that in the last 40 years or so, the Earth has been undergoing a new wave of energy, a wake-up call leading to a new dimension of existence of higher awareness and greater spirituality. He wrote, "Star children play a big part of this collective wave, this energy shift. Star children are well aware of why they are here and have many abilities that the humans doesn't have. Those star children should be nurtured to grow their uniqueness and their spiritual talents. Common traits of star children are said to include clairvoyance and clairsentience, the prosperity to trip electricity, manipulate the environment with the mind, telepathy, high intuition, heal with energy, detect danger, travel out of the body, act as channelers, and the ability to download information from other planets." Also listed as traits according to Atmosphere are talents that are great. Many would still be resistant to believe, including the abilities to levitate and to teleport. Are these children truly special? The question of whether crystal, indigo or starseed children represent the latest in potential wishful thinking or even denial, or whatever, there are indeed special individuals helping us advance into a new state of consciousness, remains highly contagious. Still, it is understandable that many children simply do not fit the mold of normality, as they are contributing a new way of interacting, living and relating in order to bring humanity out of its current dark age of divination and destruction. Whether you believe in the existence of these children or not, they are undeniably leading us all to a greater sense of responsibility for each other and for the planet. Part 3. I am now, so what they are, before I go on to part 3, so what they are saying is obviously all 3 of these aspects, indigo children, starseed children, crystal children, they all have the tendencies and the traits to have come from extraterrestrial realms, from the universe realms, okay guys? They are all sent here and they choose their parents so that they can heighten who they are, so that they can bring out their purpose and their works in what they're supposed to do in this planet. That is to help this planet, and that is to help humankind. Because even though it's believed that we're all connected to extraterrestrial, we're all connected to the universe, which we are, some of us are more highly advanced than others. So therefore, those more highly advanced ones that may be of an indigo or a crystal or a starseed child are here to educate. They are here to learn you. They are here to guide you. They are here to protect you, as well as the world. Okay, this is what children like us are here to do. So, growing up, we grow up to learn to love our planet. We already come here loving our planet, but we learn to love it to a more extent way. We see the world in a different way. We see people in a different way. We can relate and communicate with other realms that some cannot. Now, for a lot of people, they find it very hard to get their head around the fact that aliens exist and that even these sort of children could exist and be here in this plane, but believe it or not, they are, okay? We are not the only being and the only species in this world. There are many, and there most definitely are star, crystal, and indigo children, okay? Now, for a lot of us, even though I'm going to read you some of the traits, to a lot of you, these children will seem like normal children until you get to know them. You'll start to realise there's different traits when you look at a normal human child. What would be associated to being a normal human child? It's just a child that's not physically open the way it should be, but through learning and being connected to those things, it could become like these other children. But the children that are gifted and are open, you will see, even though they look normal and they may act normal, you will see traits in them that are completely different. They are open to environments. They are open to nature and to animals and to people. They can talk and see things in a different way. They can give you details and information on worlds and places that others cannot tap into. They have an overwhelming sense for protecting this world and protecting humanity, and for helping those to come to terms with who they really are, okay? Because as a starseed myself, okay, my job here is to educate you guys, to make you guys realize and see that we are all spiritually gifted beings. Some of us have just lost our way. People like me and other starseed children, crystal children, indigo children, we are here to help you find that way. We are here to help you to learn to love and respect and bring this planet to what it should really be. Okay, because that is the most important thing to us, is that our planet survives, that our planet and our world survives, that humankind survive, because humankind are part of our universe, is part of our worlds. You gave the word human as a way to exist in this world, but the truth and the fact is that we are all of a kind of alien. Whatever alien that will be really does weather on who you are. And through being around people like this, and people that are spiritually open like this, that are connected to that world in that way, that can help others that don't know who they are or don't believe in who they are to find themselves, okay? For me, for instance, from a very young age, I was very quiet. I never really interacted with anyone. I found it very, very difficult at first to actually communicate with humankind. I found it very hard. At school, yes, I had friends, but I very much kept myself to myself. I wasn't really somebody that liked to be around too many people. I liked to be in myself. I liked to be involved in my consciousness. I liked to be involved in the feelings and the love and the affection that I had to this world. Obviously, growing up, I loved nature. I loved being out in nature. From a young age, I was able to do things and had abilities. I have certain people in my family, like my godmum and people, for instance, that said that I was very different as a child. I was a very quiet child. I was always on my own, but always talking to somebody or something, but there was never anything there. My godmum would always say about this, that you was different, Sherry. You was quiet. You weren't like normal children, and I wasn't. Even growing up into my teenage years, even though I had friends, I very much kept who I was to myself, but I would always bring out love and appreciation, and I have always been a giving and loving person. I've always been very emotional, and things in the world very much affect me. I can't sit and watch programs and stuff to do with animal cruelty or children cruelty or old people cruelty. I can't watch any of that without getting very emotional and becoming to the point that I cry. Even down to the extent of certain films and certain things where some people would not be affected by it, I do. I get affected by a lot of things in the world. Even just walking down the road, if I'm walking and I see a bird or something, in real life, birds have to eat other things to survive. Like, for instance, I had this experience once where there was a crow and it nicked this baby bird of another species, okay? I was so passionate to save that bird that I ran across the road and I scared this crow away because I believed that, that baby needed to be saved and things. But while I was watching this happen, I become very emotionally upset. And to me, it was horrible to see. And I didn't like it, even though it is part of life and that is how they survive. I very much am very connected to a lot of things and a lot of things affect me. And I believe that I am here to educate people. I am here to show you the right way, to show you to the right places. I'm here to help you to open your spirituality. I'm here to help you to find who you truly are and where you truly came from. But I am also here as somebody that you can come to and talk to. I will not push onto you who you are or what I believe that you are, but I will be there to listen to you, and I will try to give you factors and things to show you what you could possibly be, okay? Now, for a lot of people in this world, they'll come into our shows, they'll come into other shows, and they laugh at the fact of this, but the truth is, why do you laugh? Why do you think this is hilarious? Why do you not believe in it? Everybody's allowed to be different, yes. But have respect for people's beliefs, is what I believe, okay? Because as much as you sit there and you laugh and you think this is a joke, this is very real. And these children are very real. Extraterrestrials are very real. This world is very real. This world was made by them, just as everything else, okay? What we believe and perceive as God, angels and all are them, okay? We see them in different forms. We see them in different ways because our mind is made to perceive that. Like some of you will see God and angels and that as a human being form, where I see them as light. I see them as colour. I see them in vibrant ways, and sometimes I don't see them in vibrant ways. You know, sometimes I see them in human form, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I see them in an animal form. It's how, at that time, that energy that I'm connected to wants to show itself to me. And I've noticed that over time, I understand how it must be so hard to get your head around this theory, okay? Because I've had experiences where I was abducted. I believed I was abducted because of who I am, because I am being highly advanced each time I'm being taken, so that I can continue to do my work and my purpose here on Earth, because that's what they sent me here to do. I believe I chose my family. Even though my family have not always been what I need, they have learnt me in many ways. I am not saying I've had the most easiest and most fulfilling life, but through having what I have and through being around my family has truly opened me to who I am. And having these extraterrestrial experiences and abductions that I have gone through has led me to that moment where I found out what I have always believed that I might be, that I was different. I had always said that I'm different. I believe I don't belong in this world. I believe that I was just put here. I've always said that. I said this when I first come over to the company, to Dakota and Chris. I said, I don't belong in this world. I was put here because I'm supposed to help others. But life itself here has never worked for me. Everything I've ever achieved to try and do has never worked out because it's not supposed to. I'm supposed to be a teacher, I'm supposed to be a healer, I'm supposed to be somebody that guides others. The only thing that has ever worked out, in fact, in my life is my spirituality and my paranormal, the things that connect to the other realms and the other planets, the other places. Okay, that is the only one that's ever been apparent in life and has worked all the way through my life. Everything else has fallen at my feet. I have had to go through rather nasty and horrible experiences to find the true self of who I am. Even though I've always believed that I was different, that I was from somewhere else, I still had to find that tendency. I found my spirituality. I found my love for this planet. I found my love for everybody else from a very young age. But I still needed to learn what my greatness and what I really was here for. And through time and through growing up, I started to learn those factors and I learned them ways. But coming into the company of Bald and Bonkers is where I truly opened, because I was able to, as well as Tim from UFO Man. Tim from UFO Man and Bald and Bonkers were the first time where I openly spoke about my abductions and things that I have gone through. I had openly spoken and said that I believe that I am not of this world, and that I have never fitted in this world. I believe that I'm here for one purpose only, and that is to guide, to trust, to love, and to show others what they are truly connected to. So through doing that and coming into the company and meeting Tim and meeting Chris and meeting Dakota, I've been able to fully find who I truly am, which has answered all the questions I've believed for so many years. I know that I am a starseed. And when I've read some of these traits, they very much relate to what I am, okay? And what a lot of you guys probably are, but don't realise you are, okay? Because believe it or not, in this world, a lot of you people don't realise what you really are and how special you really are and how special you could become if you choose to believe in who you really are, okay? So that's why there's people like me. That's why there's people like Chris, Dakota, people like that. We're here to open your mind, your senses. We're here to guide you, not push you, guide you to learn so that you can choose to be who you want to be. Because that's very important, and I believe that is what our descendants and our loved ones from the other planets want us to do. This is why they visit. It's like a lot of people will sit here and say, why do they visit? Why would the earth be important? Why would it not be? They formed this earth, they formed us. Why would they not? They formed us to be a certain way and have a certain characteristic, but through life and through the things that are put into this world by some of us that are looked at as not being very highly spiritual and want to do the opposite, we have been defeated in that way, in mind and in concept. We'll learn about things that are not real and things that are real. We're told what we should believe in and what we shouldn't believe in. We are closed in our minds because of the things we have around us every day. Technology, life itself, exceptions and words of others, books, TV. We are learned from a very young age to be programmed when we are not programmed. We are free souls and free spirit. We have a right to be who we want to be. It is not right to lead people to believe that we are the only kind that is in this world, because we are not. We follow many religions and many ways, and that is fine. But I have found through religious ways that some of this religious way stops us from being the spiritual self that we really are. See, I found my concept through being a witch, through being involved in nature, because I feel that it's the most connected to them. These symbols that we see here represent them. They are symbols that come from them. They may look different up there to what they are down here, but they all represent the same things. What we see here as a pentagram, you may see a slightly different symbol up there, but it represents the same thing, protection, okay? And there is that familiarity in that. Don't be closed-minded. Don't sit there and believe that you can't believe in what you want to believe in, because you have the right to, okay? And you are all highly amazing and gifted people. You just have to find that way. It's time for people to wake up and say, okay, there's no way that we can be the only type of person here. We've had sightings. There are video evidence. There are things coming out every day that represent and show that the extraterrestrial world is real, because it is. Even scientists and professionals are not able to deny it anymore. What we have been grown up to believe is unreal and untrue, in fact, has always been true and real. And luckily for some of us, like myself, I have always been highly open, and I have always seen the world in a different place. And when I've been educated and told things by others, I have never took the words of others. I've always took the insight and the instinct into what I see and what I feel and what I've learned through myself. And through doing that is why I'm so good at what I do, because I believe in myself. So I was never closed-minded. That's why there are certain things in this world that I don't follow, because I know that those things that they follow in this world are what stop us from being who we are. this world has got so many things that seclude us from who we truly are that we forgot how to be spiritual. We forgot how to be open. And we forgot to be the high human being with the most amazing abilities. We forgot how to do all of that because of ways in life. There used to be a time in the world where there weren't technology and there weren't internet and there weren't these things. It was all natural. Our way of learning was through the planets, through the universes, through nature, through life, the true way. But as technology and life changed, as people that became in charge of us came into our world, we started to forget who we are. But as I said, for some of us, we are lucky enough to be able to see through that, and we've been able to see from that from a very young age, like myself. So therefore, that is why there are people like us today to be able to educate and to show you that it's okay to be different, to show you that it's okay to believe in what you want to believe in. It's okay to judge. It's okay to have your own opinion. That is how it should be. But just be a little bit more open and understanding and know that it's not just us. That others like myself, like Chris, like Dakota, are here. There are many of you out there, I believe, that are having experiences and things, but too scared to step forward. Too scared to say who you truly believe you are. Don't be afraid. There are people to guide you, to help you. People that will not judge you for what you believe in. That's how this world should be. It should be about understanding each other, keeping each other lifted, understanding the importance of this world, and understanding the importance of each other's lives. There is so much evil and nastiness in this world that overcomes that goodness. But when there are people like us, we can bring that goodness back out. That's what we want to do. We don't want badness and evilness and sadness and defeat and war and illness. We don't want these things. And we don't want you guys to have these things. So if we can do things to try to help you, we're not saying we can stop everything. We can't. This world is too far ahead. Too many things have been adapted, but we can help you to make the world a better place. So now I'm going to go into some of the traits that these children have. Now, you guys may find that some of this really does adjust with you and it seems familiar, okay? Because, believe it or not, there are so many Starseed, Indigo and Crystal children out there that don't even realise that they're that. They know that they're different. They know that things have happened. They know that they're slightly different to maybe a friend that they used to remember in school, but they don't know that they're actually that. Okay, so these traits may represent to you and may be familiar. So Indigo children traits: extremely empathic and compassionate, often known to be considered strange by friends and family. Shows a strong connection to spirituality even from a young age. Have a strong sense of self-awareness. Are highly intuitive. Want to change the world. Always seeking the truth no matter how much it hurts. Known to be old souls. Gratitude towards leadership. Likes being alone. Are highly creative. Are strongly connected to animals and nature. Get easily bored. find it challenging to listen to authority, experiences temper outbursts and meltdowns. These are traits of the Indigo children. Are you a Starseed? 12 traits of Starseed children. Starseed children are individuals that originate from far distant planets, solar systems and galaxies. Many of them have led previous lives within other star systems, even though empirical scientists will undeniably question this belief. They cannot disprove it either. While there are many different beliefs as to the origins of starseeds, their purpose is clear. These star children will bring peace, topple corrupt systems, and shift dimensional consciousness in the years to come. They have come here with a special responsibility to assist in the rebirth into the higher dimensional Earth. Starseeds incarnate into the same conditions of total amnesia and helplessness concerning their origins, identities and purposes as to do Earth humans. Nevertheless, the genes of these children are encoded with a wake-up call designed to activate them at a privileged moment in life. Awakening can be gentle and gradual, or quite dramatic and abrupt. In either event, memory is restored to varying levels, allowing Starseed to consciously take up on their missions. Their connections to the higher self are also strengthened, permitting them to be largely guided by their inner knowing. The list of 12 characteristics of star children. Number 1, physical abilities. They have a greater physical development in the parental and frontal areas of the skull, the area from above the eyes up and above the top of the head to the back. Probably this makes room for the prominently larger development of the potential and frontal lobes of the brain. These are areas of the brain which support intelligence, emotions, higher consciousness and physical abilities. Number 2, deep thinkers from a young age. They begin to question what is real, even at a very young age. Also, they frequently ponder or ask serious or profound questions, have a genuine and healthy curiosity about the people around them and the world in general. They may question everything and always want to know why something is the way it is. I used to be like that. Star kids can even ponder the deepest of questions about reality and delve into concepts such as life after death and reincarnation. I've spoke about those things. Number 3, high energy levels. They tend to feel much better and lighter in energy when they are around higher vibrational people who are more consciously aware, because these lighter individuals seem to just get it, while no one else seems tuned in. Number 4, remember their past lives. They already show exploiting abilities that the average human does not have, including remembering when they walked in, remembering past lives, or remembering contact with their extraterrestrial family. Some of these starseeds have full knowledge of why they are here and are poised and ready to help humanity make it through this vibrational frequency shift. Number 5, spiritual but not religious. They just can't buy into majority of Earth religions. They have tried very hard again and again to fit in with other or more of these belief systems, but it seems difficult to join them together. This is very true. Number 5, the spiritual, but I'm spiritual. I believe in my witch faith and my witchcraft and stuff. I was christened as a Christian. My nan and people used to take me to church, but I could never ever fit in with church. I didn't like church. I didn't feel that I was the same as the other people. I found it very difficult to connect. Even though I believed in the higher power that is known as God or Jesus or whatever, I did not believe that his concept and his way was in those walls. I believed that he was part of nature. He was part of the real world. So I've never been somebody that has been able to follow a religious way. Even though I will read out spiritual prayers and stuff to protect when we're going out investigating and stuff like that, but I read that in the belief of the higher power that I believe in, not in the church, not in the rules and the way that others are. I cannot follow that way in concept. I like to be natural. That is why I'm natural. I do not follow books. I do not read books really. Obviously being dyslexic don't help either, but I've always been one of these that likes to learn through myself. That's why I am naturally taught in my witchcraft. I have taught myself. I am naturally taught in my investigating. I have not gone through others. I have gone through myself and through my experiences, through the energies that I connect with that most cannot see. Okay, so I have learned naturally because I believe that the natural way of life is the way forward. Okay, and it is what is most connected to the higher powers, whether that is our extraterrestrial family, which is who I believe it is, or if that is God, if that's who you believe in, or if that's Buddha, or whoever that is. Okay, but just remember that this planet, like all planets, came from grains, come from the universe, came from a far distant place. We are all alien species. Just some of us are more connected than others. They may consequently reject belief out of hand or may choose to find some alternative belief that suits them better. They will quite possibly start formulating their own system of belief. They are also mostly likely to have some form of special ability. The third eye is open, ESP clairvoyance. Number 6, empaths. They are empaths which come here to absorb the negative energies that are imposed upon us by the ruling elite. They can also sense the difference in energy signatures between different planets and solar systems, and internally known that the planet is not their home base. Number 7, alternative medicine. Alternative medicine is a term that describes medical treatments that are not part of standard care. Starseed prefer to work in a creative and alternative medical field, healing, helping, searching for their own truths and their own personal missions through studying system of high wisdom, write their own bibliographies as a means of clearing problems and understanding their purposes. Number 8, improved DNA. They have a crystal gene which allows clearer guidance with beings on other dimensions. This gene acts as a guidance system of sorts, keeping the individuals on course in their missions. In addition, it allows a faster understanding of the emotional and mental blocks that must be cleared in order to recompile DNA via DNA recording. Number 9, love for animals and nature. They have a deep connection, love and appreciation for animals and nature. In addition, they feel energized and comfortable outdoors in nature settings with animals, and there is always a compassionate and deep understanding for them. Number 10, unique physical appearances. They have a unique physical appearance. For example, eleganted neck, complying eyes, a typical body structure, oddly shaped skull, might be slightly off, or you may just be very preened, displayed. You might have a very beautiful shaped face, or you may have a head that's slightly bigger. You know, some of your complexions may be different. You look like you glow, your eyes sparkle and glow, just lots of different things. Number 11, help humanity. They are a big part of this great transformation for humanity just by being here at this time. Their higher vibration affects the collective human consciousness as a whole and helps to transform humanity as a group towards fifth dimensional existence with occupying a physical body. You feel different. You feel different from people around you. Nevertheless, you have a natural inclusion to relate to their issues. So are you a starseed? So when they say like that you relate to their issues, you feel other people's emotions. You want to be able to reflect and help others to come through those situations. You feel very different to other people. Where other people can fit in with this world, they get on really well in certain jobs and certain aspects of life. Where starseeds and indigo children and crystal children have a bit of a difficulty sometimes. The everyday life world and where people are told what to do and things are normally things that starseeds and indigo and crystal children really struggle with. So we are very much individuals that like to prosper through ourselves and who we are. We are very, very eager to get to the points and to get to where we want to get. We are very high spiritual beings. We have had an understanding for this planet, for the universes, through nature, animals, people, from a very young age. We were put here because it was our destiny to be here. We are here to keep this world how it should be. At the moment, our world is lost. Many evil and bad things are happening. For many years, our world is being destroyed. Okay? And with these sort of beings, we're here to guide you away from that, to learn you to be more natural, to learn you how to love and to appreciate what you have. Because once it's gone, that's it. All the work that our loved ones up there, all of that work and belief that they put into us will be no more. That's why we're here. We're here to try and guide you. We are here to try to save you, to save this planet, to wake you up to the truth and the reality. We're here to say, don't be so quick to listen to things that you hear on radios and TVs, and start to listen to yourself more. Start to try to open yourself just slightly to the facts of where you actually are coming from. And know that it's okay to be different, because we're all different and we're all special. There is no life that is more important than the other. We are all equal. We all have different beliefs. We all have different ways. But that does not make you any less of a person. It's good to have uniqueness and difference in each other, because that's what makes this world what it is. But there is a lot in this world that's been lost. We have forgot how to love and protect this planet. We have forgot how to love and protect each other. We forgot what is important. And they are the things that we need to find. And with people like us, and bringing others possibly forward into that belief, because that is who we all are part of, maybe we could make a better place and a better world and better humankind. We are the sort of energies that are not here to spread evil or badness. We're not here to deceive or to mislead. We're just here being who we truly are and what we believe in, and trying to reach out to others like us. So if you think that any of these may be relevant to you, then there is a possibility that you are an Indigo or a Starseed or a crystal child, which is a pretty bloody awesome thing. So they were what I got in research. I hope that you found that really interesting. Let me just go over the chat and see what you guys are saying. Yeah, and like that's why I personally do not follow the Bible. If you pick up a different Bible from a few years back and up to here, if you've noticed, every page is always different, and each time those words and that change. It's not the word of God. It's not the word of the higher power that guides us. It's not. The Bible, I believe, is something where many people sat there and believed that they were getting visions and getting things from something of a higher power, and they're writing that into there. I also believe that in ways that these sort of structural, spiritual things like Bibles and stuff like that are another way of gaining control of its population. Okay? When religion and faith should be free. We should be able to be who we want to be. We should be able to believe in what we want to be able to believe in. If you've noticed that in reality and if you look at religion and that, a lot of religions tell you things you should do, things you shouldn't do, how you should be, how you shouldn't be, what you should give, what you shouldn't give, when that is not what religion should be. Religion is a free will. It's a free flowing feeling. It's something that is within us. It's not in the walls of a church. It's not in the walls of a mosque. It's not anywhere. It's in us. It's in real life, nature, in the world. Okay? And we should be able to follow that. You know, our higher powers, whoever that is that you believe in, would not want us to be trapped. Would not want us to be not free and to not have free will. A lot of these religions are formed to control. And I don't mean that in a negative way. And I am not mocking any religion. I am just saying through my experience and what I've seen that I don't believe that some of the religions in this world are as legit as what they try to make out. That's all I'm saying. And I have learned through my own experiences, as I said, I used to go to church because my nan said I had to back then. I was younger, but I very quickly started to learn that it was not me. Just as it was not me to hang around with everybody, I was very much somebody that was happy to be on my own and happy to learn by myself because that's what they wanted me to do. And that's what I continue to do. And now I'm here doing this because this is what they want me to do. They want me to learn you guys. They want me to educate you guys. They want Chris and Dakota to do the same thing. We're here to show you more of this world and what this world really is. Starseed are a very high being, just as crystal children and indigo children. We are here and put in this world as a human being, but we are not human. We have got other tendencies in us as well from our astral planes, okay? Our planes from the extraterrestrial world. Everybody in this world needs to be protected to an extent, don't they? And yeah, maybe these spiritual children probably would be protected a lot more because of what they are and because they are connected to the other world as well. And these greys would most definitely know that. But in truth and in reality, all humankind are protected by powers that not everyone sees, because we're all related, we're all connected to them. There are good and bad in everything. So, and you're saying that you was rescued. In some cases, some starseed that are not aware that they're starseeds or indigo children may come into situations where they come into communication with another energy from there that may not be of a nice kind. And yes, sometimes the gooder energies that are most definitely connected to that star child or that indigo child or that crystal child will sometimes intervene and remove you from that situation, most definitely, because they're protecting you. That's what they're supposed to do. They protect you just as we protect you, and we protect each other. So, yes, very much so, that this white being could have very much stepped in to protect you from the grey because maybe you're slightly different. And as I said, we're all connected to them and we're all different for different reasons. So, yeah. Thank you, Chris. I'm really glad that you're enjoying this. I really hope that you found this very educational. I didn't want to be going on too much. I just wanted to bring you straight to the basics of what an indigo child is, what a crystal child is, what a starseed child is, the tendencies and the traits that they hold, okay? Because we really, you know, as the people that we are and the work that we're working on here, we are very much trying to reach out for other people that are like us. And we're trying to help other people to open and to realise who they truly are. Okay, so these shows are really good. I don't want to go on for hours and hours and hours and bring you loads and loads and loads and loads. I bring you the fact. Okay, I just bring you the information about each child. How you can learn if you're one of them children. Okay, and you'll find that when you're these sort of children, you would have had experiences and stuff from a very young age sometimes. You're not always going to remember, okay? Like for instance, I have been notified and I've been included that I have had experiences since I was a child. Now, I know that I've always been connected to Earth and I've always been connected to nature and all that. That is not denied. I know that. But when it comes to the extraterrestrials, I don't remember seeing them as a child. I see them in later life. But I have been informed that I have seen extraterrestrials since I was a child, okay? So, for a lot of these beings that come from the extraterrestrial world and come to here, okay, some of you will remember experiences from a very young age and some of you will not. Because sometimes our alien descendants, our ET descendants, our family, there are certain things they don't want us to know straight away. Because it may damage who we are. It may put them at risk. It may put somebody else at risk. So they intend to come to you gracefully and slowly, maybe by taking you, giving you experiences, trying to open you that way. Once they feel comfortable with you, then they will start doing other things like trying to communicate with you, talk to you, show you things. You may go out in nature and see certain things that look weird, but other people can't see it. Signs, symbols, things like that. It's no different to looking in the spirit world. It's just that they are extraterrestrial, okay? So I'm glad that it's helped you to explain your entire life and stuff like that. You know, for a number of people, they do remember from a very young age all the way up to their adult life. And for some of us, we don't remember everything, but we start to understand later in life. Some of us have to take clinical practices and stuff to help us to understand and to learn. Some of us learn through the experiences and stuff that we've gone through. You know, some of us learn through natural life. Like I learned from through a natural life at the start. Like I said, I didn't remember having my interactions with alien and extraterrestrials when I was younger, but apparently I have. And but I had the connection in the other way, like through nature and through life and through my beliefs, and I was very much secluded away from real life human being work because it just didn't work for me. So in that way I was connected, I just didn't realise it. And then obviously after having my abduction experiences and going through what I went through, that's when it really started to open. But it opened even more so when I met Chris and Dakota. That's when I started to remember my abduction. I started to remember little characteristics about my life and what happened to me. And I don't ever recall there ever being an unpleasant experience with me. The only unpleasant thing I remember was when I actually went and had an episode where I was on a show with Chris and Dakota, and it was the first time I actually went to their dimension, being physically awake, and come into contact with good energies of extraterrestrial, but some bad ones decided to try and snatch me as well. So when you said, like, can good ones step in when bad ones try and get you? Yes, they can, because it done the same thing for me. Okay, if you're highly powered and you're very connected to things of this world that they want, they will try to take that. They will try to take that from you sometimes. So yeah, you do have them step in sometimes, but there's certain things in life and in the world that they can't intervene with. You have to learn for yourself. And one of them is finding yourself, okay? Like, you can have people that can guide you and help you, but true fact is you have to search within yourself to find yourself. And that starts with believing. Yes, and there are a lot of amazing things in this company that really do help you to understand about extraterrestrial life, people that are linked to extraterrestrial life, ones that may be these sort of children. We do a lot of shows. We have so many different amazing guests that are associated with ufology as well, that have had experiences and are very advanced in that. So you will always have amazing stuff coming from the Bald and Bonkers company. And as Dakota and Chris were saying in the room, there is going to be a documentary on these topics. We are going to be doing a documentary where people can come forward and can talk about their experiences. If you've been abducted, or if you've had experiences with seeing extraterrestrial beings since you were young, if you think that you may be different, you know, this documentary will give you that opportunity to be able to open up and be who you want to be, but also have that help and that guidance there to make sure that you do it safely and the right way. So you really are with the right people here if you really want to dive into who you truly are. Okay, so I hope that you found this show very interesting. I hope that it's gave some of you something to think about. And remember, it's okay to be different, and start to maybe believe a little bit more that you're a bit more than what you think you are, and that you come from somewhere that you wouldn't think that you came from. Okay, so just be open and be proud of who you are. And if you want to learn and research and understand this, then do so. And you've got people such as us to be able to come and talk to as well, guys. So you're not on your own. There are many people on platforms and on YouTube, Facebook, that are into this sort of stuff. Okay, so you're never ever on your own. Hello, Mike, darling. How are you? Blessings. Be proud. Okay, this world may be a messed up place at the minute, but with a little bit more love and compassion and understanding to it, maybe it'll start to get better. Okay. There needs to be more people that love this planet and love each other and are good, okay? And that's really important. And people like us, children of a different kind, are going to make sure that we can try and help people to be that way. I hope that you're well, Mike, but I hope that it's gave you something to think about, and it's made you sit there and go, well, it kind of makes me understand about some of my experiences. Hopefully, it's also going to make you want to maybe, for the first time in your life, talk about your experiences. Because when you talk about your experiences, that's the first step to you accepting them. That is the first step for you to link. Okay? It's okay to be yourselves. Yep, and a course, as Dakota is saying in the room, there might be a course that might be done where it can help you to recall the details of your experiences. Because for a lot of people, when they go through these extraterrestrial encounters, for a lot of them, they find it very hard to understand what it is or why it happened. For some, it's very taunting and very scary. If you can be in a place where other people can relate to you and help you and help you to understand, it's a better environment. Because believe me, when you are trying to find yourself in this line of work, and when you are so connected to this line of work, it can be a really scary place at times. But it is something that you most definitely need to look into, because if you look into it, you're opening yourself, you're accepting, and then you can move forward, okay? But if you're going to hold that, you know, for some of you, you probably had experiences, but you don't remember them. Well, these sort of courses and hearing other people may jog your memory and may make you start remembering little things, okay? Because extraterrestrials have the tendency to make you forget things sometimes for good reasons, okay? So having this sort of work and way will most definitely help you. For those who believe they may have had abduction experiences, there is an online course that might help. Okay, guys, so if you believe that you have had extraterrestrial experiences, or you've been abducted, or something has happened with you to do with extraterrestrials, then please hit this link that is in the chat and that Dakota has put up on my screen, and you can go over there and talk to someone or try and understand a little bit more about what may have happened to you. And you've got us as well, guys. So I hope that you really enjoyed this show about the Indigo, the Crystal and the Starseed children. I hope that it's gave you guys a little bit more of that lift to be like, do you know what, I want to know more about this. Hopefully it's gave you that concept to go, do you know what, when they open this documentary, I don't mind coming on there and talking about it, because they've done it themselves, and I think it's going to make it better for me, and it's going to make me understand more. We will be more than happy for you to join us, guys, most definitely. I know the boys will be jumping on their seats if they get more people coming over, and I know that they're getting a lot of interest in this, okay, guys, and it's real. It's real, okay? There are these children. There are extraterrestrial. This world is not just full of human beings. It's full of many things. It's real, okay? It's okay to be different. So I am going to finish my show. I hope that you enjoyed it. I most definitely loved talking to you about that and explaining to you about who I am and the other guys. And I hope that you've took something from this, and I hope this has helped you. As I said, there's our courses and stuff that you can go to. You can join our documentary. But from me, I'm going to send you lots of love, light and blessing. Thank you for tuning in and supporting me, the Bald and Bonkers boys. Thank you to all of our networks and our sponsors and our TV people that are putting us out there and helping us to do this amazing work each time. And a big shout out to all of our companies as well, Bald and Bonkers, DNTV, Parapost, PD, Global, all of those amazing networks that we're also working with, which some of them will be doing things in extraterrestrial as well, guys. Thank you to all of you for supporting us and helping us to do what we love every day. And also, thank you to our angels that are in the room. So from me tonight, and from the extraterrestrials, and from everybody, have an awesome night, and be real, and stay spooky. And I'll see you very, very soon. Bless be.
1,